Hi, and welcome back to the Little Back House. This is Sandra, and today we are going to be working with these three products. I am going to transform a plain white concrete piece into this lovely little piece. So first we're going to start with our chalk paint, and we are going to mix this equal parts. So I always keep an old pair of measuring spoons on my workbench, specifically for milk paint. You mix it equal parts and with water. So I just only mix what I'm going to use, and the reason I do that is because milk paint will go bad. So you just want to mix little batches at a time so that you're not over mixing and wasting and having to toss it. So I put a scoop of powder, and then I put a scoop of water. I just got some from my water bottle right there. And I have one of these little mini whisks that I keep also on my workbench. You can use a mini whisk. You can use an electric whisk. You can also use a fork if you don't have one. Preferably in a cup. I was totally out of cups, so I used this little paper bowl that I had, and the struggle was real. You really do need to dip that whisk into something a little deeper and get it nice and mixed. But in the end, it worked. I did it. So it just took a little longer than it probably would have if I had a proper cup. So just keep mixing and mixing and mixing until the powder is fully mixed with the water, and you will have like a frothy type of mixture. At that point, you can go ahead and use it, or you can let it sit for about 10 minutes and the frothiness will go down. It's just whichever way you prefer. The frothiness does not bother me, so usually when I'm done mixing, I have zero patience, so I just start painting. Okay, so once that's all done, I will take my round brush. I like the R12 Klingon brush, and I just start very generously blotting this all over this concrete little architectural piece. I had previously painted it with white mixed with salt wash just to give it a base coat, but I'm sorry you don't have footage of that. So that's what I did before I started painting it, just to give it some texture and some grit and just kind of give it a two-dimensional look once I'm all done. So I will just completely saturate this white with the color Dragonfly in the milk paint, and I will go over this piece entirely. Okay, so next I'm going to take one of my wet wipes and I'm going to start blotting off in a dabbing motion the milk paint. What I'm trying to do is bring back some of that white paint that was underneath, and that's going to give it its textured and two-dimensional look. So I just keep blotting away until I take off some of that paint, and then you'll see that I kind of get just a little bit more aggressive with wiping it off, just because I want to see more of the lighter color come through. So I just take it, step by step, and I keep turning it until I like it. And then you'll see I kind of hold on to it and start rubbing it a little bit more aggressively. But you just want to do it until you like it. Just know that there's no right or wrong or one way that you should do it. I just think you should do something until you like it, especially if you're a reseller like me, or you're going to be putting it in a boutique or a booth. If you like it, someone is going to like it. So don't worry about that. Just do it until you like it, and there's going to be someone out there that has the same taste as you. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just wiping away, and I'm leaving the darker color in the low points, which will make the lighter color on the high points pop. Kind of like a highlight on your hair. You have the darker color and the lighter color together, they make your hair pop. So it's kind of that kind of philosophy. So just keep going. So I picked up these little metal bowl type of things at a flea market. I have no idea what they were previously, but to me they reminded me of a little nest. So I thought I could marry these on top of those little cement pieces and make a little bird's nest. They were already like a, I don't know, like a bluish patinaed greened piece. So I like the color, but I just wanted to add a little bit of shimmer to it, since most likely someone's going to put this in their house. And so I picked up the Heavy Metals Gold Dust Metallic Paint from Wise Owl, and I just lightly went over this metal nest just to give it a little shimmer. And then I'm going to attach it to the little architectural piece. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just getting it prepped so when I'm ready to attach it, it'll be nice and dry. So I'm just gonna kind of pick it up and try it on for size just to see how I like it. And I guess I gotta lift that camera up just a little bit. So there you can see it, and I'm liking it. I think it's gonna look good. I think the size is proportioned, and I think they will marry very well. So I'm going to take that off and then finish up the base while I let that dry. Okay, so next I'm going to take my heat gun, and I am going to make sure that my milk paint is thoroughly dry, because the next thing I want to do is add in some wax. So we're just going to go over this real quick and get it nice and dry. Okay, so I absolutely love the milk paint, the Real Milk Paint Company. I love their soft dark brown wax. It's my absolute favorite dark brown wax. It's really, really nice to work with. The texture of it's really nice. And I love that it just looks like kind of like coffee grounds when you put it on something. It deepens the tone of the color, but it also gets into the crevices and the cracks of your piece and really gives it a nice antiqued little effect to it. So I just take my wax brush by Jamie Ray Vintage. I like the bristles on that brush. I believe this is a 1-inch brush, and I'm just pushing that into the cracks of the piece. And then I'm just taking a towel and kind of quickly wiping off the high points because I really want it to be more prominent in the cracks. So that's what I'm doing here. If you have never tried these products, I highly, highly recommend them, and you can find them on my website at thelittlebackhouse.com. Or if you are local to the Laverne area, I have a retail store in Laverne. And you can also find me on Instagram at The Little Back House, and there you will get a lot of behind the scenes of what goes on in the store. Okay, so I'm happy with the way that it's looking. I think it has nice texture, nice dimension, and I think it's going to pair really nicely with this little nest. So now we are going to get this glued on, and I use a mixture of Gorilla Glue for a stronghold, and I use the hot glue for a quick adhesion. So we're going to get that done, and then we're going to fill it with some Spanish moss, and I think it's going to be really cute. Okay, so I'm really happy with the way it's looking, but I feel it needs a little metallic wax on the base, so I go ahead and add that. Okay, so next I am going to do another piece the same way I did the first one. I'm going to take the Real Milk Paint Company milk paint in the color Dragonfly, and then we're going to put it right over this architectural piece that I have. It's concrete, and I have pre-painted it with salt wash and white chalk paint. So we're going to do the same thing. I'll let you guys see the process. So once again, I love how the brown wax gives this antiquing effect and depth to this piece, and I love how the metallic paint gives it that little bit of shimmer. Again, I added the Spanish moss into this nest, and I just love the way these two marry together. I think they really complement each other. And here it is on my showroom floor. I didn't have any eggs, but I went ahead and added some bath bombs in there just to kind of give that effect of having something in the nest. I think they turned out really good. If you like to upcycle and DIY, please hit that subscribe button and give me a thumbs up if you like the video. For behind the scenes, follow me on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching.